table and, okay, see you in a couple of weeks. And I'm like, she goes here for years, and, you know, I couldn't quite get it. But after I made up my mind, right, after I made up my mind to come and, you know, have my own appointment. And the doctors that I had been going to, it's in my family, the rheumatoid arthritis, and then I've always hurt myself, and I'll be all right, because I'm not taking any pills. So I just suffer through it. And when I you know, got this x-rays and all this, and I'm like, wow, the doctors never even looked to see what was wrong with my back or my neck or whatever. They never even took an x-ray. You know, so to look and see what the problem is and know that, you know, now I have good range of motion in my neck.
Wow, look at that, Joan. I should have seen her when she first came in like this.
This is how I've been doing for years.
You know,
for years.
Waist turn.
And so now to be able to, you know, at least have range of motion and learning that, yeah, you do have to, the subluxation. I'm still learning about my body, and that it does feel good when I leave here. I feel better. So it's great.
I gotta say, when I walked in and I saw Joan, I've known Joan all her life.
Really?
And
Rachel, you did too, right?
And I looked
She went to school with my oldest, with all my kids. But my oldest son, she was in the same class with him.
But it's funny, we're all in the same neighborhood, and I said, Joan, look like, what are you doing here to myself, right? I knew why she was here.
Right.
I'm saying to myself, what are you doing here? Yeah.
People always see people they know in the waiting, which is great, you know. That's gotta be this. It's either that or the baby crying.
This is my phone ring from my husband when he calls me from home.
Tell me she'll be here.
Because I have to
Mr.
read
Hip
off, so
replacement.
it's.
Yeah. Who else? Does anybody else want to say anything?
I'll go quick.
Okay.
Yay, and Bill just came.
Billy, I've been a long-time chiropractic patient,
Yay.
but semi-mechanized, if you will. I played every helmet sport there was. Motocross as a kid. Landed on my butt. Probably broke my coccyx bone when I was 10, doing stupid wheelies down the street. But I got into athletics. Ended up playing college hockey. Very violent. Horrible refereeing.
Who would come near you?
In the fighting. That's just it. I was the Lindros of the team. Everybody had to take a shot at my midsection. Broken ribs, double pneumonia, paid the price, broken nose, chipped teeth. Most of my concussions, believe it or not, were in hockey. Got out of college. After 3 years of that, I didn't even want to play my senior year. And my father was a pretty great football player. I don't want to brag about him too much, but he's got a letter somewhere from Vince Lombardi to come play in Green Bay.
Wow.
But so at 23 years old, I said I'm going to try it, and I hadn't tried since Pee-wee's, and found a semi-pro team that would take me. And I played for Montclair, which had a semi-pro team, and then New Brunswick had a team, Parsippany had a team, there was a team down in Buena. I moved down South Jersey to take a new job down in Cinnaminson and playing for a team called the Jersey Jaguars. Played for them for 10 years. That was that's the baseball team.
Oh, okay.
This is football,
Okay.
all football. But we know about them because we were first. But nobody that was the first team. I retired from that team twice, and the reason I came back out of retirement, I bought a sailboat and said I got to do something different. I'm going to be 32, and. Wait, the timeline gets worse. They got a team chiropractor and a team massage therapist, and that's what made me come back. I said, well, we'll take care of you, be in excellent shape. If you're hurt in any way, shape, or form, the doctors say no, and you're off the field. And I said, that sounds like a fair. I'm used to taping my finger back to my hand. They had changed the rules. There's no more horse collar anymore. So most of my tackles would be invalidated by today's standards. But at the same time, the head slap, which was where I get all my stingers from, and the arthritis in the neck, I was the guy with that big giant neck pad around, so you couldn't turn at all, but when you hit somebody, it delivered right from your shoulders. So it's a give and take as far as violence is concerned. Walked away from that for a while, went back to the beach, tried to get into surfing and boating. I mean, I've had this sailboat to retire. Bought the sailboat in '99, so I haven't put it in the water. Trying to do something more fun, more physical, less violent. Came out of retirement again to play in the alumni game at Montclair. That was a really great violent club. It was. I don't want to say it's inner city, but it was probably the first team I played for with real malicious intent, and that all fell back on them. I played for a couple other clubs. Played arena for a year just to try it. Then you play both sides of the ball. The boards really take it out of you. Having played hockey, I knew about the boards. A lot of these guys would come off the street or off of a 11-on-11 high school or college style and then go in the arena, and it's not worth $280 a game, and that's about what you make to get destroyed. And the team doctors were horrible. Everything was dime a week, coke habit, or shooting up the spine, steroids everywhere. And here's something you got to understand. When I entered the game in 23 years old, this stupid B-grade team with the traffic cones for the end zone and a wooden upright that somebody made out of 2x4s from Depot, it was a real club. But I'd say the average size of a lineman that was coming out of college or washed out of the pros or NFL Europe or the World League at the time, there was USFL guys that had come back. They'd say they average around 300, 330. That's refrigerator Perry, 335. And I was like 250 and pretty in shape. My last season, I was the smallest guy on the line by 100 pounds at 42 years old.
Bill, I have a question.
Yeah.
How often, like when you were playing, how many times they will adjust you on the field?
On the field, never. We would.
Well, like after that you will play after the game, yeah.
Before and after every game.
Before and after
I mean,
that,
I got
you will
almost
say
400
twice.
games in. Yeah, yeah. We would go to the chiropractor on Wednesday, practice Saturday, game on Sunday, films Sunday night.
Oh, good,
if
good,
you
good.
weren't in the hospital.
And what
I was gonna say,
what
when
are
did
the
you
ER
get
then?
bashed,
And
right?
so what, if I may,
Yeah.
being as, you know, you're literally brand new to us here.
Right.
What prompted you to want to start back with care again?
New health plan actually covers it. I was a teacher for 9 years. It was kind of interesting to be a player, a coach, and a teacher. And the biggest eclipse of my life was playing with a guy named Frank. I can't remember his last name, but 19 years later, I played with Frank Jr. and got to smash him as well, which was kind of interesting. And at the end of the game, his father came down and said, "I can't believe you're still playing." I said, "Where the heck you been? You're late." You know, that's
So I'm guessing, Bill, when I go over your history tomorrow,
Yeah.
because I will be adjusting it at
Arthritis,
some point. It's
yeah.
very long and big. You know, I recently had a young man start who's a high school math teacher, and he came in like this. And I find out on the second day that he played football in high school and college. And I looked at him, young kid,
right.
and I said, "Did you ever, you were adjusted in college when you played football?" He's like, "Never.
Wow.
No one ever told me." And he's 26, so,
Wow.
you know, it's not everywhere. And one adjustment, and he said to me, "Dr. Getty, I didn't tell you, but I have knee problems, and my knee is so much better from one adjustment."
I believe it.
And of course, he's moving his head, he's sending me his fiance. He said, "I feel 10 years younger. I wish I had gotten adjusted while I was in college."
If it wasn't for the chiropracticon and the DRS, DRX,
Yes.
9000, all these other
Yeah.
mechanized things that you get on the
When
first
you
time, like,
walk
oh my God, I'm on my Iron Maiden, it's going to break my back. And the second time you're on it, you fall asleep in the middle of the treatment. It's a very different kind of thing. But
So you know that you need to be adjusted to keep
Absolutely.
yourself healthy, because
Absolutely.
certainly he's an example of someone who has
I could not have
major
played the last
stress.
5 seasons without a chiropractor.
Right.
That's straight, honest. And look, the end of the story was, I'm still 250 pounds, and at the end of the season, I'm more like 235. And you try and put some lean muscle mass back on for the next kickoff or rodeo or whatever they're going to do, and the guys are still 400 pounds. So that's how I hurt my knee. I had a 400 pounder come down on my
You
knee.
need to get that sailboat in the water.
It's
I
getting
think
close.
everybody get on the bus and we just go
That's
with you
it.
to the boat and we
That's
get it
it.
out.
Yeah, we can help you.
That would be grand. No,
You got a crew.
That's so
You got a
great.
crew.
It would
Thank
be
you.
outstanding. No, it's
Thank you so much for
so
that
feel pretty
story.
welcome. And
Yeah,
considering I've
so
only
great.
been to a few chiropractors through my life, and I followed them from move to move and through marriage and divorce. But all the best chiropractors are husband and wives. That's my
Aw, thank
last set
you.
through. I mean, one of my coaches was actually the guy on the team down south was not really a phenomenal coach, but he was a coach and a full-time chiropractor, and that's how they
No
brought it in.
kidding.
Got him to coach, to get him to be the. We had to fill out forms. It was just like coming to the office. You have a lot of paperwork if you're going to be a patient,
Right.
and you're going to be on the
Right,
field.
right.
That was
Right.
quite a
Well, and
battle.
it's very interesting because now people are getting all the connections of playing and then
Right.
keeping your spine. And, you know, we talk about these kid athletes, how even soccer, there's so, every time we would see our kids with the headbutting the soccer ball,
Mhm,
like
mhm.
we know that cervical spine has to have
Sure.
that curve and any little thing can throw it off. So Bill's an example of huge amounts of stress to the
Right.
spine, but we all have it in varying degrees.
Looking over you.
I used to think that. I don't know. When I go swimming long distance, then I feel like I have a guardian angel swimming over me. Yeah.
Looking over you, Bill.
Anybody else want to say anything?
I was going to say that was not elaborated in the slightest. I played too much, and I know that.
We believe that. For some reason, I believe him, don't you?
I turned down the alumni game. I played last year. I didn't play this year. But had we met a month earlier and I feel good enough, I don't know.
Sam.
Who knows?
Sam.
You'll be feeling so good, we don't know what else we'll be doing. Miss Pat, do you wanna say something?
I had been to a chiropractor, it was the, they had the chiropractor, the physical therapist, and that spinal decompression machine that my doctor had recommended. And I went to that for, I guess, 3.5 months, and I felt much better. And that was like 4 years ago. And then when you both came to the 50+ club, and talked about the chiropractic care, my sciatica was bothering me again, so I said, okay.
Something sounded
it's time to go back,
right.
yes. So I
Innately
started,
guided.
and that was in the end of September.
Right.
I also had neck pain probably from reading and playing games on the Kindle Fire, which, too much time on that, your
There
neck
you
is
go.
down.
So you get like the kids.
I think I'm worse than the kids, so.
Text
but
neck.
But I said I had a lot of pain, I couldn't even lay on that, my right side for any length of time. Now the neck pain is gone, I don't have it. I can lay on this side for a while, and then it bothers me slightly after sleeping on it for a couple of hours, but not anything that terrible. And it was good until December when I traveled and I was at different places, at my daughter's and at my sister's, and I said it was starting to bother me again.
Beds,
But then once I
pillows,
came back
different,
and
yeah.
was adjusted, I said it was okay.
The body has a memory, so when you start getting healthy, then if you dip a little, which we all will, that's how life goes, it's up and down, that's how your health goes, but it'll come back because your body remembers. Chiropractic is something that's designed to kind of go along with you in your life, We're not gonna feel at 80 the way we did at 20, and we are gonna have things, but there's always quality of life, right? We're not gonna run a marathon if that was something we never did before, at 80, but, we just always want quality of life to be better, so, thank
I have
you.
a question.
Yes.
I don't know how to word it, but I think that I need to learn, maybe other people need to learn too, what's the best way to sleep? Are beds, some people need soft, some need firm, some need whatever our chiropractor tells us. Our pillows. I think a lot of my problem is I'm still trying to figure out how I'm supposed to sleep.
Right.
I would love that workshop. I would be
Okay,
on
well,
time
come
for
to
that.
that,
I would
that
be on
sleep
time for that.
workshop, and you can ask us at any time. It depends on your spine. We do have some
Each
general
person is
recommendations.
individual.
Yeah, but there are some
Yeah.
general things that we can talk about,
I
so
need
we
to
will
know
do that at that sleep, that's why
But
we
that
do
is-
those workshops. It's a really
Right.
good question, and it is important, because you sleep many hours.
You could fix me today,
that's-
but if I'm gonna go home and sleep wrong, then
Sure, you can mess it up.
Exactly.
And that is one of the reasons why, as many of you, have been with us for the various times, and, people say, well, why always ask me to come to these workshops? They're always asking me to come to the workshop. Well, because if you knew it, you wouldn't. All right, because we're always, it's like life. You're either moving forward or you're moving backwards. Nothing is stagnant. So, if we're learning something, if you learn one thing new every day, what was it? It was the child who, went through the encyclopedia or something and learned one new word every day, and by the time he was 10 years old, he was like a genius or something. And the reality is that the workshops, just like this evening's workshop, is about, sharing experiences, but the other workshops that we do for the most part are to give you, tools for your toolbox of health. So that when you leave here, you have another tool in that toolbox. So when you leave here,
That's what I like.
you have a better understanding of, oh, I should be doing this for my sleep, or, oh, I should be maybe exercising this way, or, oh, I can do this to help me relieve some stress in my life, or, oh, I can do this, there's some ways to clean up my eating habits. So it's not, because we know, and I know I've said to many patients over the years, we could give you a list of 101 ways to do life. On a good day, you might do two.
Minus
But
the morphine
if you-
patch.
Yes, exactly. But if you discover for yourselves through varying things, then all of a sudden it's much more impactful. I think
Yeah,
that's-
I wanted to say something. Since I've been here probably the longest out of the crowd, I think I've been to 99.9% of the workshops.
and been
She's gonna
asked
do
back a couple of times too.
Right, well, you can't learn everything and
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
You know, it's kind of like school.
But the workshop that my father even enjoyed, they had a cooking group. A young lady came in and she made spaghetti with zucchini.
So we had dinner.
Oh my God, it was delish. And what did I do? I went out and bought something similar to what she had, and I use it now at home. My sister's like, oh, my husband won't eat anything green, but that's okay. We'll work on that. So let's see, I've been to the one for the mattress, then don't forget the acupuncturist, and in learning about the acupuncturist for a while, I was going to him, which also helped to bring down my blood sugar.
Inflammation, you've been to that one.
Oh yeah, inflammation, and then we had the vitamin group, and breathing, and then she has a yoga, chair yoga workshop, which is phenomenally fun. I mean, when I can take my boot off, this leg or this ankle goes around this leg, and it never did that before. And I can even do this. Look at you!
Yay!
I could never do any of that before this, because always my left hip was the issue.
The hip, that's right, that's right.
Yeah, and crossing my legs was hopeless. I could have never done any of this. So each workshop, you learn a little something, you have a lot of fun. There's always great questions, and not your questions, but it might be something somebody else said and answered something you didn't even think about. So they're really, worth the effort to come and catch as many as you can, because 90% of the time they make it fun. Other times, no, just kidding.
So before we wrap up, because we started late and now we're ending late, Liz, do you want to say anything? I don't want to leave you out.
Sure.
And
No,
Chris, you're next. But you don't have to, but I want to give you that.
I met them at a Parkinson's support group meeting that, my father's passed 4 years now, but I still go to the meetings because I do.
You're such a nice person.
Well, there were a lot of people that still go, but anyway, you guys were a fill-in, I think.
We have a friend in
actually
town
were.
who called us at the last minute and said, we have to bring our son, move our daughter into her new apartment, you want to do this talk for us? And it was like the night before.
Yeah,
And we said,
yeah.
okay, opportunity when you're asked to serve.
So I always
was meant
suffered
to meet
from,
Liz.
exactly, from sinus headaches, and after the meeting, I went up and I asked, and you know what I also realized today? I used to get vertigo almost every April, and I think it had to do with the sinuses, and I was, Advil cold and sinus was my, if it was illegal, I'd buy it. But I haven't used it at all this year, and I was just.
Mid-April.
Yeah, and I was telling the girls, yeah, right? And I told the girls at work today, 4 years ago tomorrow, I got my motorcycle license. And the morning of my motorcycle license, I had a touch of vertigo, and yeah, that was not good.
Yeah, but
No, so I went, before we went, my husband got it too, same day. I bought Dramamine, because somebody said Dramamine could help for vertigo. So I said, okay, I'll give it a shot. I took it, it didn't help. But when my motorcycle helmet was on, it compressed my head so that I didn't have the vertigo, but if I took it off, I was.
You're walking around with the helmet.
Anyway, I got my motorcycle license that day, but I came here with all these problems with sinus. I haven't had the sinus problem, and I also was having trouble sleeping. I was blaming that on hormones, but that I don't believe that was the case, because now I'm sleeping fine. And if I don't mess myself up by getting rear-ended in a car accident and mess up all their good work, and then falling down the stairs twice in 1 week, that was another thing that I messed up their work, but.
well, you people do to justify coming.
Yeah. But I'm good now, right?
Life. She's doing great. Doing great. It is life. We're always going to have stuff. Chris, do you want to say anything?
No, not really.
Okay. I just didn't want you to feel that.
No.
Well, we want to just thank, Lindsay, are you okay? Are you going to be at work tomorrow?
Oh, yeah.
I just didn't scare you out here.
She's
anyway.
gone. I'm just teasing her. I don't want to go too much.
She's not going anywhere.
So we just want to thank, well, first of all, I want to thank our amazing team, which includes Lindsay now, Sherry pinch hit it tonight, and Sammy, who just gives like 300% of herself every minute, and is the one who says, let's do another workshop about the miracles. So, Sammy, hello.
Hi.
Yay,
Hi.
She's the one who's the heart of the office, and we'll keep you in touch. So we just thank you from the bottom of our hearts for just showing up on a Tuesday night. It's kind of nasty out. You probably have a million other things to do. You know, it's late, it's tax season, your